Test, 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 test. What's going on, Doki Bible Club? Yeah, I bought these little microphones, lapel microphones, and I'm trying to see how this is going to work out. So if I do go live, um, just want to see how it's going to sound. So let me see. So I'm actually doing this from my phone, which is kind of cool because I'm actually on StreamYard right now from my phone, and I've never gone live on my phone before, and I'm just kind of testing this stuff out because let's just say if I do go live or decide to go live on my phone, I can just want to make sure that everything is all set up, because and this is one of the reasons why I bought this little microphone, because I want to make sure that my audio is good, and I'll make sure that I have it all set up. And then too, I can see that I can pull up people's comments and stuff as well. So this is pretty cool. All right. So if anyone decides that they want to go live on StreamYard, they can still do it from their phone, and you can still pull up comments and all of that stuff. So yeah, this seems like this is pretty cool. It looks like that you can still put people in timeout. Oh, I don't want to press the timeout thing. Hold on, Doki. Now I know that you got a wrench and you got a badge. I'm going to use you as the guinea pig right now. I'm going to see, it's going to say put user in timeout. I want to see what the options are, but I want to make sure that it's going to give me some options to be able to say how long I can put you in timeout. But just know that if I click this and it automatically puts you in timeout for whatever amount of time, just know that I'm sorry. All right. So hold on, let me see. Okay, see, and that's what I was afraid of. Because see, it just puts you in timeout, but it doesn't give me an option to say how long. So I don't know how long the timeout is for. Yeah, and see, that's what I wanted to see. All right, there we go. We back. Want to make sure now. See, I'm playing around with this. I want to make sure that I don't play myself. Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out how long it'll time somebody out. Oh, let me see. It says put me. Then if it goes wrong, then maybe Doki can help. Oh, that's from Jake. Yeah, it okay. So from StreamYard here on the here on my mobile phone, if you just if you tap on put user in timeout, it'll just put that person in timeout, but it doesn't show how long they're in timeout. So because see, like when I do it from YouTube, it'll tell you how long that person is, or it gives you an option, I would say, of how long a person would be in timeout. So because they also have a ban and block, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the ban and block, but because if it didn't even give me, if it did not give me an option for putting a person in timeout, I'm definitely not going to do the ban and block. You know, so it look like I have all of. Looks like I have all of the controls right here at the palm of my hand. So yeah. Okay. Doki, are you back yet? He's probably not. Probably ain't back yet. Because I don't know how I don't know how long it'll put somebody in time. I don't know if I have to set that up on the back end. Let me see what the settings are. General. Oh. Yeah, see, it doesn't. Oh, let me. Oh, well, okay. I can also do this in portrait mode too. So that's what I need to do as well. I need to so if I do go live from my phone, I need to make sure I do portrait mode. Let me see what Reese says. Reese says, I thought you picked the length when you go to do it. But see, that's going straight from YouTube. So now in YouTube, I can do that. Like for instance, I'm looking at YouTube right now on my computer as I'm doing this, and because I'm also checking my audio, so I got this connected to my computer to make sure I'm sounding pretty good. But in YouTube, I can go and I can set how long I want the timeout to be. But I'm actually doing this from the StreamYard. I wouldn't say an app. I need to see if StreamYard has made an app yet, but this is from the StreamYard browser on my phone. And it has 4 options. I wonder, can I do a screen share? Yeah, let me see if I can do a screen share. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't see the option. Yeah, I don't see the option for screen sharing. Grace and peace, brother Rick. But yeah, the way that they have it here, you have 4 options. You have now when I like for instance, I got brother Rick highlighted, and there's 4 options that I can choose from this highlighted uh comment. I can either delete the comment, put the user in timeout, ban user and delete, or I can star the comment. So those are the only 4 options that I got. Now the timeout one, I don't know how long. Okay, so Jake says it's so apparently it's 5 minutes. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out on StreamYard. Now I'm starting to feel a little bit better about StreamYard because I'm like, they starting to charge me $90 a month to do this. I'm like, y'all gonna be charging this money, man. Y'all better have some perks or something, man. Y'all went from like $39.99 to like $89.99. Like, it better be worth it. So it looks like that they're trying to step their game up. And one thing about StreamYard as well is that you can, once you get finished doing a recording, you can have them generate certain clips. So okay, so Doki is back. All right. So Doki is back. All right, he's back. So I guess it is about 5 minutes then. So I guess if I do, yeah. Okay, cool. So shout out to Doki for being the test dummy on this. So I guess for 5 minutes it'll time you out for 5 minutes. So okay, so that'll be cool. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to see if I can do more of these mobile type live streams, which I think is great. I mean, it might be something short, if I'm doing a quick Q&A, or if I'm doing, if I don't feel like bringing my laptop out, if we're just going to be having a discussion. Oh, okay. Now let me try this. Let me try this, because I can actually send the link out, and I wonder how is this going to look once I send that link out. And anybody can hop on. We just testing it out right now, because I want to see what this is going to sound like once I want to see what this is going to sound like and what it's going to look like if a guest or somebody pops on. So I know that if JP was in the chat, JP will hop on. So for anybody who's using StreamYard, kind of doing this for y'all as well. So yeah, so I'm wondering how is this how is this gonna look? Because I mean, I'm actually kind of testing this out, because I got to have to fly out to Houston in the morning, and I'm gonna be in Houston all week next week. So grace and peace, Sister Violet, grace and peace. And then two, actually, I might do a live stream from the conference that I got to go to. It's not next weekend. It's going to be weekend after next. So the family and I were going to the Christian Family Life Conference. It used to be called something else. It used to be called the NFCIC or something like that. And we've always kind of wanted to go. It's kind of like a family centered conference, and it's up in North Carolina. So we went last year, and we've already got our tickets and stuff. We're going to be going there not this weekend, but weekend after next. And I think that this will be a great opportunity for me to maybe live stream from there to kind of show you guys, kind of what's going on, stuff like that. So I think that this is pretty good, because I'm thinking about doing some more street evangelism. I haven't been street evangelizing in a while. So I said, well, if I can get me a decent mic, and if I can find a way to stream, straight from my phone while I'm out doing some street evangelism, that would be good. So I'm kind of trying to set some things up, Yes, today is Palm Sunday. And we celebrated that today at my church. And I mean, the one of the elders, well, technically on paper, he's the pastor, but we operate as a plurality of elders. We don't go by one person who is the pastor. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but the way that our church operates, because we're a house church, we have a plurality of elders, and we all take turns, leading the service each Sunday. Like, for instance, I think maybe about 3 weeks ago, I led. I've been teaching through the book of First Corinthians. So, and I think I'm almost last one. The last chapter that I taught on was First Corinthians 13. So, I'm kind of going through the book of Corinthians, teaching on that. And the elder who taught today, he was going through the timeline of from the beginning of time to the time of Christ up until today, showing how Jesus fulfilled all of the prophecies and stuff like that. So he taught for a little while, probably about a little bit over an hour. It's pretty edifying. So so that was great. And one of the things that he pointed out was that today would be the day that Jesus went into Jerusalem on a donkey. So yeah, that was pretty edifying. And next weekend will be Resurrection Sunday, and of course, we'll be celebrating that. And we kind of touched on the calendars, and just briefly, we didn't really go through too much, because I know that can be a whole nother discussion. People talking about the calendars, and and who got the right calendar and who changed the calendar and this, that, and the third. So I'm like, it's let's just keep let's just focus on Jesus. Let's just focus on Jesus. Grace of peace, Pastor J. Let's see what Pastor J got to say. All right. He says, unless it was Passover, as some said was last night, and therefore, when Christ died, let alone riding on a donkey. We got G-Con up in the house. What's going on, G-Con? G-Consciousness. G-Con, where you been at, man? You been on Clubhouse? Been over there on Clubhouse? Pastor J, if you can, man, if you see that link, click on that link. I'm trying to test this out to see how this works out if I do go live from my phone. And I just need somebody to just click that link. I just want to see how this is going to look on a mobile device. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes I don't feel like pulling out my laptop and all of that stuff to go live, but I do like going live from my laptop, especially when oh, who's that at my front door? Who is that? Oh, Amazon. Okay, it's probably something that the wife ordered. It's kind of cool that I can kind of check that out while I'm right here on a mobile device. All right. So yeah, see, I saw the little camera thing pop up. So I wanted to make sure, and I'm here at the house by myself. So, just want to make sure if I had to, go down the stairs, with guns blazing like the Matrix, none of that. I want to make sure it ain't the ops out there trying to pull up on me while I'm live. So, All right, cool. Yeah, Pastor J, or anybody else. If anybody else wants to click that link, I'm just trying to see how this works out. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jay went live one time from his phone. But I don't know if it was from StreamYard or if it was from YouTube. So sounds like my audio is sounding pretty good. So yeah, I got this little collar mic because I was, I'm like, I don't like really going talking on my headphone, using the mic from my headphone because it sounds all kind of jacked up and weird. So the link it's at the top. Hold on. Let me pin it. Hopefully I don't end up on here 2-3 hours because I gotta, since I'm traveling next week, I'm trying to edit some videos, put some videos together, and have that stuff kind of spaced out. Hold on, let me see. All right, here we go. Pastor Jay, what's going on?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on,
All
it's
right,
coming
cool.
in. It's coming in from my phone. I want to see. Well, hold up. Yeah, because I can hear you from my phone. I don't hear you from my headpiece. I mean, I'm sorry, from my earpiece. But I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that because I thought that I can have it coming from my earpiece, but while I'm talking out of the mic. So I mean, you're not getting any feedback or anything like that, are you?
No, it's clear to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you went live from your phone or from your tablet at one time. At one point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It really just depends on your connection strength wherever you at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you live on a mobile device right now?
No, I'm on my laptop on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah. Appreciate you hopping on. But
Yeah, no problem.
so what did you guys do for today? How did you guys celebrate today?
It was a.
Oh wait, somebody's saying that
regular.
there's an echo.
Is there echo? Oh, let me.
Hold on, I don't hear an echo. Hold on.
I got the echo cancellation on my thing. All right, check one. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if that's on the end.
Oh, let me see. Test, test.
Is it when he speaks or when I speak?
I think. Hold on, let me see. Or it's when you speak. Hold on. You know what? See, that's why I wanted this going through my.
Oh, it's
That's
doing
why I
that.
wanted
It's doing that
this to go
feedback
through
loop
my.
there.
Yeah. That's why I wanted this to kind of go through my earpiece, so it doesn't. So it doesn't give any feedback. Hold on 1 second. Okay, that's my audio. Um, you hear me?
He did kick himself out. Probably kicked him out when he.
How about
Hold
that?
on. Here you go. How about now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you. But I'm wondering, is it going through my mic or is it going? Yeah, see, now it's going through my headphones.
Okay, they
So
said better now, no echo. Okay.
yeah, yeah, because I guess when you're talking, my my mic on the collar is picking up what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying and then feeding it back out. So I
Yeah.
guess if
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have on guests, then I'll just have to talk through my headset. But if I'm gonna be talking by myself, then I can use the I
Yeah.
can just use the
Mm-hmm.
microphone because I was trying to see if there was a way that I could set it up to where I could have um the audio come through my headphones, but then my audio going back out, you know what I'm saying, through the mic so I don't be getting any feedback.
If what kind of phone you got?
I got an Android. It's a Samsung. What is this? S23.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all. You got the little tiny little headphone port on your phone.
Hold on,
The
let me
little
see. I
little
don't
three
I
point
don't
five
think.
little three point
Oh
five
yeah,
millimeter
yeah, I
jack
do.
thing.
No, I don't. I don't
No.
have that. This phone don't have that.
I don't know if they make. I got an Apple phone, so I don't know if they make the little dongles where you can plug your headphones into that, and you still and so that'd be basically coming as if you was listening straight from your laptop with your headphones
Right.
plugged in, and you can still use that lavalier mic.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that yeah, cause see with my phone, see they stopped making that for these phones here.
Mm.
So like it has to be a Bluetooth connection. But I was trying to see if there's any way I could set up on StreamYard. But I guess the way StreamYard would have it set up is that um you can either have it as the speakerphone, the headset earpiece, and then a Bluetooth headset. But hold on, let me see. All right, test
Evening,
test.
gentlemen. Afternoon, brother.
Good evening. How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Sounds good. He kicked himself out again. Must be switching something over.
He's
I,
learning, mate. He's learning.
yeah, I got to make sure I stop doing that because excuse me, whenever I'm going through, whenever I'm like going through the settings, instead of me pressing the little X to clear the little page out so I can get back to this page without kicking myself out, I keep
Mm-hmm.
pressing the back button and that just
Oh,
totally, kicks me out.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
What's
guess
good?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's good for when you go live on your phone? If you're out in public, it'll bring new people in who are scrolling.
Yeah.
So if you're in like a populated area, or there's lots of people around you, or in a different area, it'll bring different people in into your stream. So it helps you gain an audience. So it's good to do them on the road, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Because sometimes I don't want to wait till I get back to the house or to where I'm or I got to get back to the room and then I got to set everything up. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't want to do all of that. So, but so yeah, I'm just trying to check this out because I did buy these little lavalier microphones. which I think is going to be good because I do want, like I said, I still want to. I want to try to get back into, um, do some street evangelism. So I think it'll be good to
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm just saying for street evangelism, it's fantastic because you get people coming in randomly and they're exposed to the gospel. So
Right.
it definitely needs to be. Yeah, I think it's perfect for things like that, especially because we go to built up areas when you're doing these kind of things. It really does. The street evangelism stuff really does help.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking about getting back into that. So I want to make sure I got a good lavalier mic because it comes with two. So I can have one on me and then I can,
Hmm.
hold the other one out to somebody else.
Yeah,
Um,
if you have
yeah.
them too close to each other, the echo. So you got to make that both of them aren't turned on next to each other.
Right, right.
But
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
I've got some cheap ones, but they are super cheap. Like I didn't really. I just wasted 20 quid. Because they just don't work basically. The Temu ones. Uh,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now my wife, she bought these right here. And I was trying to, because she had these, and I said, let me check that out. So what I did is that I plugged hers into my phone, and it sounded pretty good. The quality sounded pretty good. And I said, man, I may need to check that out. So I went and I bought me some. So those was about $40. So you know, and then plus two, because like even when I'm driving, maybe I could go live while I'm driving. Like for instance, I'll be driving from Houston, Texas to College Station, Texas, and that's almost like a 2 hour drive.
yeah,
So, and plus, if somebody else, let's just say if somebody else is on live, and I may want to join the stream just briefly, I want to be able to have something to where I can, you know. But now I'm saying that I'm not going to be able to be on any other panels and use the microphone because it's gonna give an echo, you know. So,
yeah.
but I don't know.
They are.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully StreamYard, rectify that to where you can separate and split the audio like you can with the when you're on a computer, because I can have my mic, I can set the input, or I'm sorry, the output from my microphone, but then I can set the input for my little headphones, which also has a mic on it. So
I had a debate and I dropped my mic kind of box, whatever it's called. It's got a fancy name. I broke it basically, and then I had a debate. And when noise is coming out and then you speak into it, it kind of it makes you quieter. So it's
yeah,
two-way because it's coming in from the same source and someone's talking out at you at the same time. So every time my debater was using horrible tactics, I don't know if you know about Sig, just constantly interrupting, like that way he is a child, and it
oh
lowers your mic. It's ridiculous, mate, but it's very
yeah,
unchristian kind of tactics, and it lowers your volume so people can't hear what you're saying. And he worked it out that he's got his thing and he's talking over and you can't hear what I'm saying on the thing.
right,
He's got his Discord guys on when he's live. He's got his Discord going like, "Hey, look, he's Matt. You can't hear him talk when you talk over," and it would. And I
yeah,
had them
yeah,
on it there, so you've got to be really careful when you go into a debate that you aren't separate. You haven't got it going in one way and out one way from the same source because
right,
it'll just
right.
it'll cancel the person out.
Yeah, Jacobson says, but else we love to see the slides proof of mystery. So that's good for you, not for us. Yeah, yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna. Oh, trust me. I'm still gonna bring them slides up. Still gonna bring them slides up. But if I want to touch on like a quick topic or something, or have a quick conversation, then this is one of the ways that I'll do it. From my phone. But other than that, but yeah, I love having all of my slides and resources and all of that stuff, so I can show people exactly what I'm putting up, or what I'm talking about. So that ain't going nowhere. That ain't
You got to
going
get them
nowhere.
receipts, mate. Do you know what I'm trying to do recently? Because I think what I've realised is the amount of effort that we do to do polemics against any other anything that we do, we bring up our slides. Now, I was
Yeah,
trained by needgod.net kind of before I well, not trained by him. I've done evangelism for years, but you have to pass a certain bar to go and work with these guys and fully understand the gospel. And they check you, they validate you. Now they have this technology where they have, when you're going on Omegle, because what you see on YouTube isn't what they all are. They're evangelists. They're out there just working, constantly working online, on Omegle, on all these platforms, just scrolling through and giving the gospel night and day
Yeah.
and night. Now they have this overlay, so they have this software that when you're looking at your screen, when you're on Omegle, there's a side panel that appears, and you press it, and it'll give the gospel message in verses. You go through this one. If you were to die today, where would you go? Okay, what's the need for the do you believe in God? That goes through a systematic process to give the gospel with verses. If they say this, go here. It's not like it's not like a robotic way, but it has a
Yeah.
methodology that's extremely successful. You know, psychology, the need, this, that, the other. But what it is, it's a tool that's an overlay, and you can fill them in. Now I'm thinking, you know, there's so many people that have the sources. Humble servants, my guy. Yeah. And his research, when it comes with receipts, it's like, yo, you got that? Yeah, I've got an Excel file. All right, cool. You're doing your research. CK's doing his research. I'm doing everyone's about doing the research. If we can funnel it into this technology and have, when you're debating, you just have, you press this button and it goes early church fathers, the Eucharist section. It goes do 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 dum, pulls out, and you click it and it comes across the screen. Bro, we're missing a thing. This individual kind of research, our own notes, instead of streamlining and filling up this technology and then dispersing it to the masses, like entering the matrix. You know, you step back and you enter the matrix, so everyone has access to how to defeat, do polemics against Islam, against the apostolic churches, against atheists, against whatever it is, scripture, verse, who said it, what day, however you want to go, you can build this technology, and it just runs in the background. It's just an overlay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Pastor Jay.
no, no, I'm. It's at least what it sounds like to me, it's like a Christian version of the precept packet from the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. And
Oh,
one of the things that happens is that let's say that, you know, I don't know if they developed it yet or it's like an idea you're expressing, but um, either way, if it's developed or in development, is if it's something that's access to, it's one thing if a person understands the scriptures
Mm.
and have been, you know, training them and learning them, and then have these reference points to kind of just jot their memory back to something that might slip their mind because all the verses, uh, and then but they understand rightly the scripture itself, versus you put
Oh,
that kind of technology in the hands of people who
yeah,
aren't studied, just want to debate and all this,
yeah,
and then as soon as somebody say a word, a thing will pack up, or, you know, show up, and
yeah,
they'll reference it, but they don't even understand
yeah,
what
yeah,
the
yeah.
teaching is and all that other stuff, and so it actually set them up for failure versus helping them out.
So this is the obviously you 100% correct on this. Is where it goes through the vetting process of, look, are you doing these things? How long? Not how long have you been Christian? You have to be a slight maturity, and people have to know someone for you to get this stuff. So I was vetted. Like, do you understand this? Are you doing this already? Can you demonstrate how we use this? You know, so it's something that people would build, and then we could use inside the community, like, hey, look, this is what we're doing. If you know, if you think you deserve to have access to this, come talk to us. And then look, it's here. Because what you'll notice is, and this is not really spoken about, but if you watch the best people, have you seen God Logic?
I've heard
yeah.
of it.
I've
I
seen
don't
some
watch
of
it a
his
whole
stuff.
lot. Is that the guy with the accent? He kind of like asks a series of same questions to people when he's talking to them. Is it that guy?
No,
Nah.
no,
He's the
no.
guy who deal with the Muslims, the black guy.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking about another dude then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see other computers up. Some you see people looking in other
I
directions.
I know who you're talking about now. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
incredible. you see other directions, and I'm pretty sure it's Shamoon's software, what Shamoon's built or got at his notes or whatever it is. This
Yeah,
is my thoughts. Don't tell me, I can't confirm anything, but it's my suspicions is he's trained. He obviously understands all this stuff. He does it off live. He's the best. I think he's the best one out there. So, but what you're seeing is you're seeing the double checking notes because your memory recall, our memory recalls might be good, but it's not perfect. No one's got
yeah.
perfect first
That's
recall.
and that's the reason why I create those slides because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, shoot, some of the stuff it be so much information, and then even when people try to challenge me on other stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me let me put a slide together, and then also I'm also buying a lot of sources as well. Like I just went and I actually bought a couple of books this weekend for my logo software. With quotes that have stuff directly from the church fathers.
Mm.
So when people say, like for instance, when people talk about the Eucharist, and they're saying that, well, this person they talked about the Eucharist being a real presence and all of that stuff. So I actually go and watch and read the actual source, and I'm like, yeah, but these early church fathers, they're not saying that they believe that the bread and the wine actually physically turns into the blood and body of Christ. They're
Yeah.
basically saying that their arguments is from Docetism because the Docetists believe that Jesus only appeared in spirit. He was never like Jesus never said that he was flesh and blood. So the early church fathers, the reason why they bring up the Eucharist is to say that, well, if Jesus was just a spirit and he didn't refer to himself as flesh and blood, then why is he referring to himself as flesh and blood when they're taking the communion? So their arguments is not, well, Jesus said that this is my body and this is my flesh and this is my blood. That's not what the argument was. So that's why even when these guys start making these quotes, I go and I buy the source. I go and I buy the books and the material that these guys are saying that we should be looking into. So therefore, then I'll turn around now, make a slide, and then if somebody said, "Well, you quoting that out of context," now I can turn around and pull up the whole source and we can read the whole thing. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
You're
So
walking
yeah,
into it. Yes. What did you call them? Doterists.
Docetus, yeah,
Docetists. It
yeah,
sounds like doubting Thomas. Church. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
prototype was the original, the OG.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. So it's kind of and that's why a lot of times I do like bringing up a lot of these slides and putting that stuff together, especially when these guys tell me that, hey man, this is what the early church fathers said. And I'm just like, hey, you got to hold on one second because let's see exactly what they were talking about. Let's see what the
mm,
context because if we got people out here misquote scripture, then of course they're going to misquote the church fathers as well.
yeah,
And a lot of times us as as Protestants, we're not really so worried about trying to figure out what the church fathers said and what church history this, that, and the third. Like we want people to get the gospel. You ain't leading nobody
amen,
to Christ,
amen.
by quoting a whole bunch of church fathers saying that my church believes in this and my church believes in that. Because even what I'm seeing nowadays, and actually I'm going to be trying to address this, um, you know, pretty soon. But even the things that's happening with the Roman Catholics and the Orthodox now because of the Jay Dyer and Sam Shmuel situation, you got a lot of them quoting the same fathers, but they're coming to different conclusions based on what
They
one
church.
line or what, yeah, or one thing that a church father say. So a church father can say something, but then the Orthodox and the Roman Catholics, they both come to different conclusions.
Hmm.
So how is that happening? You know what I'm saying? If this is settled by the church and the church father, so it's a lot of that stuff that that we have to continue to keep talking about.
I think what people are missing is because I for me I'm always going to the root of things like, hey, how do we know that this is real? And if you understand what percentage, so my bread and butter is actually Islamic. 'Cause I'm rusty. I've been out of it a year, but the most stuff I've done is polemics against Islam. Now, if you understand that the hadiths that we're reading, which church fathers or are just hadiths, literally, I can go into it. They're just hadiths. If you understand that the church father hadiths, about 80% of them aren't translated into English. If you understand that about 80% of the Muslim hadiths aren't translated into English, the crazier ones aren't translated into English because it's just a soup of mental illness,
Yeah,
It's crazy. So the ones that we get are sanitized, but they don't all agree with each other at all. That's crazy. So
Right. Yeah.
it's kind of seeing how much of it is not translated, and that's the shocking thing from such a small source material that is being spoon fed to you by the Catholic Church. It's like
Yeah.
why do we even have this as a field of study when the field itself is shaky?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Just like even when we're talking about um, and I was bringing out information about perpetual virginity of Mary. And they're just like, well, a lot of these other church fathers believe in the perpetual virginity of Mary. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the context behind that? Do they believe that Mary was sinless? Because I could pull up church fathers that may say that, yeah, they believe that Mary was a perpetual virgin, but they don't come to the conclusion that she was sinless and that she was bodily assumed and whatever she say, God obeys. They don't come to none of that. So I'm just like, well, let's see what they believe. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, according to their statement. Like, for instance, Roman Catholics and Orthodox, they'll talk about Jerome. They'll say, well, Jerome believed in the perpetual virginity of Mary. Yeah, but he also believed that Joseph was a virgin too. That he remained a virgin for the rest of his life. You see what I'm saying? But at that time, there was during the time that they were around, asceticism was really high. And what asceticism is that people who believe that the if a person was a virgin, that person was more holy and more closer to God than a person who was not a virgin. So back in those days, they would revere certain people, like for instance, like with them looking at somebody like Mary, Joseph, people who are pivotal inside of the Bible. If the Bible doesn't explicitly say to them that Joseph was not a virgin, then they'll say, well, Joseph was a virgin because they have a high regard for him. So they'll say he was more closer to God. And of course, Mary got to be more closer to God if she stayed a virgin. You see what I'm saying? So with the people who practice asceticism, they will believe that, if you're a virgin and you remain yourself as a virgin, then, you're closer to God. You're more in line with God. But it's like you have to understand the context as into why people say certain things or why certain quotes that were, well, why certain church fathers made certain quotes. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's not just quoting a piece of what they said and then coming to the conclusion that, well, everybody believed in the perpetual virginity. Yeah, but what was the context behind their belief? You see what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
one thing that's not taught in the Bible is asceticism. The Bible doesn't teach you that you just need the closer you are to God, you know what I'm saying, the more you need to keep yourself pure by being a virgin. You gotta, and a lot of people who were asceticists were monks, people who believed that you had to harm yourself. You had to
Flagellation.
huh?
Flagellation. They don't talk about it now.
Yeah, yeah, and you gotta like keep yourself from all of these fleshly desires. Like you gotta, dang near starve yourself. You gotta learn how to. It's almost like what is that? Is that Hinduism or Buddhism?
It's Buddhism. So
Uh,
it's all over. If I do this a lot, I pull up
yeah,
pictures of self-flagellation, and you'll say, "Oh, they do it in this one." Then you start see, and I pretend that it's all pagan stuff. Then you start seeing the Catholics around in different countries still doing these practices in Mexico, South America, all over the world. They're still practicing flagellation. We don't see it here, but
yeah.
they're still doing it. But you just put it in self-flagellation, you start to see pagan stuff coming up, and then you start seeing, hang on, why has that guy got a cross on? So it's
Hmm.
yeah, and what are the ones that think that all flesh is evil? So is it
Um, I
Actually,
think
they
I
might be
think it
big
is.
words. This is Nestorians, or
I think it is. I think it's Nestorian.
I can't name
Um,
all these big words, mate. But
no, wait. I think it's the Aryans. I think it's
Arians, that's
Arianism.
it. Arians.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arianism. They believe that all flesh is evil, and that's why Arius believed that Jesus was only a spirit. He wasn't.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't in the flesh and all of that stuff. So yeah, man.
Those will none of the brothers and sisters listening, or those that I don't know if you're gonna take this test thing down later on, but if anybody uh, you know, listen to this. Hopefully, nobody's thinking that with that kind of mindset that through being a virgin for however long you can, you know, accomplish being it in life.
Right.
Excuse me. That that equates to you being closer with God. That idea, um, that's that same idea that Jews had regarding the law and its ordinances, and the purification rituals and different things they would abstain from, not eat, days they would observe, etc. Today, we was going over these things in the gathering. 'Cause I was explaining to uh, everybody that was listening, brothers and sisters, and teach them not to don't become enslaved to the law and it's in the proper place of it, and we got into Colossians towards the end, and was talking about the allure of that system. It's not the law of Moses is not a frantic, chaotic system. It's very organized. It takes high discipline if you're gonna fear God and try to do it the way that it required. It takes a lot of discipline, and so the apostle that gave this spoke about it at the end of Colossians, and it reminds me about this whole thing y'all talking about the virginity, the thought mindset behind people about being closer to God by being virgins.
Yeah.
Is when Christ said, when the apostles you have died with Christ and he has set you free from the spiritual powers of this world. So why do you keep on following rules of this world, such as don't handle, don't taste, don't touch?
Right.
Such rules are mere human teachings about things that deteriorate as we use them. These rules may seem wise because they require strong devotion. You think about somebody who dedicate their life to being virgins all their life. Doesn't mean you're close to be closer to God. Drawing closer to God means being holy, not being virgins, because
Right.
you can be married and be very much holy, having sex with your spouse, versus somebody who just gloat about them being virgins all their life. That doesn't mean that they're closest to God. And so, uh, but he said that it requires strong devotion to live like that, pious self-denial, and severe bodily discipline, but it provides no help in conquering a person's evil desires. So you think about the sinful nature. Being circumcised in the flesh didn't sever you from the sinful nature. Being a
Hmm.
virgin all your life doesn't sever you from it. Becoming a monk, hurting yourself, none of these things help anybody conquer evil or the flesh. And so for people to put boastings in it and say that they're looking at these ordinances or these harsh things that they put upon themselves as disciplines to dictate whether or not they're closer to God, they missed the whole entire point.
Right.
And that distorts the gospel message of Christ
Mm.
for anybody who adopts that kind of mindset.
Do
Right.
you see the text, straining a gnat but swallowing a camel? They're so
Yeah.
fastidious and giving that 10% of this and doing all these minute things that the swallowing the camel is. The major thing is the love, and Christ says, if you love me, you'll obey my commandments. So
Yeah.
it's really love that brings us closer into God's alignment, love for God, and then seeing everyone as equal. And not focusing on the small things. Another beautiful verse that I think puts this in comparison is love covers a multitude of sins. I really love this one. As we all fall short of the glory of Christ, is focusing on the big things, and then the little things kind of fall into place through love. You actually
Right.
become that person instead of becoming a whitewashed tomb, the outward appearance of being holy. Just
Right.
to actually be the person. Out of the abundance the heart speaks. So not being fake, just becoming closer to God through love, through and focusing on the big things.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Well, listen, man, I see Pastor Jay eating, and I wanted to kind of do this quick test. I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna this last part of this conversation, I'm gonna clip that and I'll re-upload this. Just to, just this part of the conversation, but the rest of it, with me testing it out and all of that, I'll cut all of that out. But yeah, this is pretty good dialogue, so far. Oh man, thank you, Jacobson, man. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I went to I wish I could put my sound effects, but that's connected to the computer. But yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you, thanks to all of you guys who do support the channel. You know what I'm saying? I really, really appreciate that. I really try to give out as much accurate information as I can, and I also try to try to have different opinions and different perspectives, on some of these subjects, so we can all learn. You know what I'm saying? Not so we can create an echo chamber and all of that, but we all need to learn. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all coming on. But yeah, thank you once again. I'm gonna clip this and you know, and then kind of re-upload this the
Nice.
last of this dialogue. What's up, Pastor Jay?
Grace
No,
and peace, brother.
I was about to just greet everybody and say appreciate it. Yeah, no problem.
All right, no problem. Hey, listen, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all next time.
All
See you
right.
later, brother. God bless you.
All right, God bless.